Ropp Star Gang, Panther Nation. How are we feeling? I mean, how are we feeling? Oh, man. This team is what I thought it was. And I should have just stuck with my guns from the beginning. I should have never taken that Texans win the way I did. Guys, and if you're just joining, make sure you pound that like button, get in the comment section. Love to hear y'all's thoughts. You're more than welcome to come in the stream and let me know what your thoughts of this team. Today's just going to be more of a rant session. All right. It's just going to be a little bit more of me ranting. All right. Now, tomorrow we'll break down the game film. We'll definitely break down the game film tomorrow because it won't be up until tomorrow anyways. So make sure you pound the like button, get in the comment section, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And guys, if you're new to the channel and you like the Carolina Panthers, even though I know it's tough to be because if you are still rocking with this team, this has got to be one of the – well, you have to be one of the toughest fans in the world, just like myself. So if you are a Carolina Panthers fan, an NFL fan, and you like NFL content, well, this is the channel for you, okay? So most definitely, as you're coming in, make sure you pound that like button and subscribe to the channel and get in the comment section. All right? Get in the comment section. All right? I got a new mic, so as you can see, I'm rocking with this new mic. I just wanted to try it out. So I just want to make sure y'all can hear me and stuff, so I had to double check on that, but it seems pretty good. So when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And damn it, if they ain't show us, they ain't contenders. That's right, Elizabeth. You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. I didn't make a PowerPoint presentation for this. Normally I do, right, to give y'all some features and stuff, but I'm going to stand up and talk today. All right. This is going to be a stand-up kind of talking sesh because it just needs to be done. Elizabeth, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Appreciate that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it, love it. Guys, we're also up to almost 3,500 subscribers. So shout out to y'all. I'll definitely do a giveaway for that since we're almost to 3,500. We're almost to 3,500 subscribers, guys. So the more y'all pound the like button, the more you comment, the more you do that, it helps the algorithm get out there to people that may not know this show, who may want to come and hear a different style of NFL content, Panthers content. I keep it raw. I keep it 100, and y'all all know that. So make sure y'all continue to pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, and get the comment section. All right. I know Bryce is a rookie, but 2 pick sixes to the same player is atrocious. Exactly, James. Exactly. Elizabeth, thank you so much. I'm going to keep you up there for a hot minute. All right, let's just go through these continued struggles, latest news, injuries, rumors. Now, we all know that the Panthers facing yet another disappointing season. It's time to call out teams' poor performance, and that's what we're going to do today. All right, another embarrassing loss against the Indianapolis Colts. The Panthers just seem to be stuck in a rut, and they just can't seem to get out of it. And fans everywhere right now feel frustrated at this team's lackluster execution on offense, costly turnovers, poor discipline. It just continues to plague us week by week, after week after week, and I know we're all sick and tired of it. All right, first up, in the latest news and headlines and rumors for this team, right? First up, we have the opening odds for the Panthers against Chicago on Thursday. We get to go to Chicago on Thursday, and it's snowing there, guys. It is not sunshine and rainbows like it is over in Charlotte and, where I'm at, right? It's snowing there. Okay, so that's number one. Justin Fields is questionable to play, so we'll see if he's actually going to play. We're not too sure, right? But according to a lot of sports books, we are the 3-point underdog, which I'm not surprised. Even with the fact that Justin Fields' status, like I said, is questionable. Plus, they're on home soil. So, I mean, if we win this game, it's because of luck. All right? But it's not just the odds that causes concern for me. The Panthers also are dealing with a growing list of injuries, guys, including the Brian Birds has a concussion, starting cornerback C.J. Henderson, both whom are officially in concussion protocol. Head coach Frank Wright stated during the media that his availability, that the turnaround is too fast and realistic, thinking either Burns or Henderson will take their place in the lineup, leaving already depleted defensive unit in a dire position. And let's not forget, guys, about this team's quarterback that I'm eating my crow on. I have been one of the most optimistic guys. I have been one of the most, to a fault, right? And I'll admit it, to a fault. Okay? But this is the worst performance of the season. 11.3 QBR, Bryce. 11.3, 11.7 I saw. It's in the 11. So either 0.3, 0.7, it don't make a difference. But Young, you look like you had no inspiration out there. You gave up 3 interceptions, 2 that which were returned for touchdowns to the same player. This was a late afternoon to forget the rookie quarterback, and you did it at the worst time, by the way, Bryce. It needs to be, you need to step up if the Panthers hope to turn around the season. And I'm going to talk more about his performance because I'm not going to put all of the blame on him, but it's a good percentage. All right. Because no one's happy with the current state of this team, man. It's time to call out the team's poor performance. It's time to call out David Tepper. It's time to call out Scott Fitter, GM. It's time to call out Frank Wright. Because Frank Wright's assessment of this team's self-inflicted wounds, complications on offense is spot on. It's clear that some real soul searching is really, really needed. Okay? Right? Some soul searching is really, really needed. Okay? And it's not just the players who need to step up, but the coaching staff must also take responsibility and make some big changes if things don't improve soon. It's time for this team to get its act together. The team's lackluster of execution on offense, costly turnovers, poor discipline, growing list of injuries, all causes concerns. We deserve better as fans. It's up to the players and coaching staff to turn things around before it's too late. Now let's get into Bryce's thing, okay? Because in the title of this video, right? It's, the title of this video is Bryce Young's performance raises questions about his future as a starting quarterback in the NFL. And again, Bryce's performance was outright pathetic and a clear indication of how unfit he is as a starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm admitting it now. I'm saying it now, and I'm holding to it until proven otherwise. I'm not going to pick this team to win another game until proven otherwise. And I'm talking about we need to go on like a 3-game winning streak. Okay? I'm picking that I will be betting against the Carolina Panthers every game the rest of the season. All right, so I might as well win some money while we're losing. Okay? Because he threw a career high in 3 interceptions, 2 picks to the same player. It was a disgraceful performance, and it can only be described as a complete failure on his part, guys. And it's hard to believe that the Panthers management spent 4 draft picks, including 2 first-round picks, and DJ Moore to secure this guy. The decision to draft him as a number 1 overall pick last year has been called into question once again and again, and rightfully so. Young has failed to live up to expectations. He has been nothing but a liability to this team. Sorry. Okay? Now, despite having a poor pass protection, a lack of quality of assets, I will say that. Young's performance on Sunday was simply unacceptable, guys. But his supporters might argue he needed better support for this team. And I do agree with that to some extent. But the reality is that he was the primary reason for the team's loss, guys. Yes, he needs support, but he is the primary reason that this team lost. Exactly, James. Right? But again, the reality is he, again, let me repeat this again. Y'all supporters of Bryce Young, and I was one of them, but now I'm done. Okay, because now I'm keeping it 100. I'm going to be 100% honest, and I'm not backing off my word anymore because I'm not going to be a delusional fan. I'm going to be realistic and keep it 100 with you guys every single time. And I always do, but I will admit that I have been a little bit too optimistic to a fault. Okay, when it comes to Bryce and this team. Okay, but I've also have had my moments where I am right now, but I'm sticking to this. Like I said, the reality is that he was the primary reason for this team's loss when you throw 3 interceptions. Young's performance was so poor that the fans and media were expecting him to have a breakout game against the Colts, who have been struggling on the defensive side of the ball. And however, he failed to capitalize on the opportunity and he let this team down. And then, in contrast, you got CJ Stroud, who was drafted behind Young at number 2, threw for a rookie record of 470 yards and 5 touchdowns, leading and won the game. Close game against Tampa Bay, 39-37. So Stroud has outperformed Young by a long shot, and he looks way better. And it's hard to believe that the Panthers management made this wrong decision by drafting Young as the number 1 overall pick. The Panthers' next game against the Chicago Bears, whom they traded multiple draft picks to secure the number 1 overall pick, it'll be interesting to see how Young performs against the Bears, given that the Panthers management has put so much faith in him. And based on recent performances, really it's hard to imagine that he'll do anything but disappoint this team and us fans again. You know? Justin, you're not wrong. James, you're not wrong. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Nervish, I got you, man. James, I got you. Elizabeth becoming a member. Marcos Cash is in here. Appreciate everybody that's in the live stream. Make sure you pound the like button. Get in the comment section. Love to hear y'all's thoughts as we go throughout this, right? Again, guys, I didn't make a display. This is just me pouring my heart out to you guys and giving you my honest opinion about things, okay? And you're more than welcome to join. If you want to voice your opinion, you're more than welcome to come on the stream as well, okay? All right. Again. All right, so let's get it. So let me continue with what I'm saying here. Okay, because Young struggles against the Colts from right off the start. He was sacked 3 times, hit 5 times in the first half. He managed only 8 passing yards for the entire half. He threw for just 35 first half yards and was finally starting to heat up when he threw a pass to running back Chuba Hubbard in the flat. The throw lacked any kind of zip, honestly. And then the cornerback, Kenny Moore, just jumped in front of Hubbard and intercepted the pass. Returned it for 49 yards, 4-23 lead with 20 seconds left at the halftime. Young struggles and continued in the second half with his with his second interception resulting in 66-yard pick 6, nonetheless, by Moore. It was humiliating moment for Young, a clear indication of how out of his depth he was starting quarterback in the NFL. Right? I know. Yep. Justin, you're right, man. You for sure, James. I know. I know. I know, Nervous. I know what what you're all talking about. I see every one of y'all's comments, James. Right. I know what you meant, though, Nervous. I know you didn't mean Hurts. I know you meant Hurst. It's all good. But then you result in another pick six, 66 pick six by Moore. It was a humiliating moment for Young. It's a clear indication of how out of depth he is as a starting quarterback in the NFL, guys. Young's performance was so poor that it's fair to wonder how much longer general manager Scott Fitterer keeps his job. Whether or not Scott was the one that wanted Bryce, or whether it was, whether it's David Tepper getting involved in that, right? There's so much, and see, that's the thing. There's too many egos and communication in that front office. And David Tepper really needs to stay out of the football operations. If you want Kansas City, if you want to be like Kansas City, stay out of football operations, David Tepper, because you said that in your press conference. You thought Bryce Young was the next Patrick Mahomes. But no offense, man, David Tepper. Where did you get that from? And what football IQ do you have to make that call? Ever since you've gotten here, David Tepper, we have been a team that just continues to get worse and worse and worse under your ownership. And you've said you will not accept mediocrity, but yet we aren't even mediocre. We ain't even average. We're below average. And this performance by Bryce was a complete disaster. And it's hard to imagine that Hill will be able to turn things around anytime soon because our offensive line has regressed. They run away from running they get away from running the football. The Panthers need to start looking for a better quarterback if they want to have a chance of winning games in the future, because this Panthers management needs to take responsibility for their poor decision and take steps to improve this team's performance. It's time to face that reality, guys. It's time to face the reality that Bryce Young is not the answer to the Panthers' problems. Protest, Justin. You gonna do that? You gonna get a sign out? It ain't even the loss. It's just was how we lost and how bad. Exactly. King Jermaine's in here. Get Tepper's ass, Clay. I'm on him. I'm on his ass right now. Tepper said Bryce has an high IQ, so he doesn't need an elite receiver. So he see that's Justin. Here's the thing. I will say CJ Stroud. None of those receivers are elite. Okay, but the style of offense, the scheme of offense and everything is different there, right? With CJ Stroud, so it works, right? But the schemes we're running here just does not work. Okay, if you want to run the KC, that's fine, but you got to have more speed. But you ain't running no offensive scheme like they are. That's a total different scheme that they're running over there. We see what happens when teams have a good nickel corner to guard Adam. Yep. And it only takes one, right? Because once you take because here's the thing. We all know this now. And we've known this from the beginning. Once you take Adam Thielen out the situation, where does Bryce go? Where does Bryce go? Yeah, James. I mean, I think we're just again, it's just like so much egos and communication and too much yipping and yapping in our front office. You know what I mean? There's too much yipping and yapping. You know what I mean, guys? There's too much voices in that front office. And whether Tepper and, like James says right here, he goes, I'm pretty sure the coaches wanted CJ, but Tepper wanted Bryce. And James, I think we're all seeing that now. Damn, we got a lot of Jameses. Yeah, I know. James here, James there. At least he's got his last name, other James, and then you have the Skyline E-commerce LLC. So I can maneuver which one's which, right? So, how's the sound of this new mic, guys? By the way, like pretty solid, because this is I got a new one and I just wanted to try it. I wanted to get a wireless mic. Anyways, sound off in the comments as we're going through today, guys. Make sure you pound the like button as you're coming in. If you're a Carolina Panthers fan and you're new here, my name is Clay Ropp. This is the Ropp Star Report. This is where we talk about the Carolina Panthers and some NFL content. James Anderson, sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mike's good. Awesome. Thank you. Because it was not cheap, I'm going to be honest. I like this mic, Clay. Yeah, me too. I wanted a wireless mic. David, all right, Tepper and Fit know how to get your hopes up as fans, though. And it's kind of like, it's almost like we're like the Dallas of the NFC South, right? Like, obviously not like football wise, like playing wise, right? Like performance wise. But what I'm saying is we're like the hype show of the NFC South, and then we get disappointed, just like how Dallas is. They hype you up every year, and then you get screwed, right? In the words of Q, this front office is fucking us, all right? From the Black Cat Panther podcast, he loves saying that. And I'm not too sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh, man. Guys, let me ask you a question. I mean, are you not tired of watching the Carolina Panthers struggle game after game? Right? Because first off, let's talk about Bryce Young's protection, because I didn't really get to get into that, right? I didn't really get to get into the protection part. Okay? Even Jerry Jones learned that he had to get out of the way of football operations once his son came into play. Yep. Exactly, King. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Justin, you might not be wrong on that. Now that there's a point there for sure. There is a point there. Well, all right. So let's talk about their protection real quick. Bryce's protection, the offensive line. Okay, because it's no secret that the Panthers have protection issue. It was full display during this game against the Colts. Young struggled to produce under center. The lack of protection from the offensive line only made matters worse. He was forced to scramble and move out the pocket, indicating a serious lack of trust between him and his linemen. And that's a problem, because that has plagued the Panthers all season. It shows no signs of improving anytime soon. And how this offensive line finished top 10 last year and then just all of a sudden has regressed as much as it has is beyond me, right? And, Bryce Young's first half was another major issue that contributed to the downfalls, right? He simply needed help to get something going and make a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes. His misery grew as the second quarter drew a close when he threw an ill-advised interception that went for a touchdown. Now, the statistics from the first half were very, very bad. So hear me out. Just from the first half. So I'm looking at him. Young had 50% completion rate. He only had 35 passing yards and 0 touchdowns. 1 interception, right? And that was a pick 6. 3 sacks already. 10 rushing yards, and a 26.5 passer rating. And these numbers are simply unacceptable for a starting quarterback in the NFL. And one of the most concerning things about Young's performance was his fundamentals. So let's talk about that, because we're going to break that more down, but I'm going to go into what I really want to get into. Let's talk about his fundamentals real quick. I'm going to get in the comments real quick, though. And Dallas knows how to draft. Very true. Bozeman was exposed. Dude, I watched the play where Bozeman and Throckmorton got pummeled by just one dude. They double teamed he has a weird last name and I can't pronounce it. And I know I'll botch it. But tried to literally double team a dude and he ran right through them and got a sack. I remember the play. We had injuries on the line, but they've regressed so much. Icky and Bozeman have been so disappointing. Yep. And no offense to Bozeman's wife, because she's a sweet lady and she's always posting on Twitter, but she might want to stop. Just for a little while. Just saying. She's a nice lady. Online, O-line has regressed so badly this season. Yes, it has. And Icky has been the biggest issue. I will say, yes, Bozeman has been an issue, but Icky has been a bigger issue. Bozeman at least has had some decent games, right? We can't blame Bryce. O-line is horrible. Wide receivers not getting open. Black Mamba, I'm done. I'm done defending him, Black Mamba. I'm done defending him. I'm done defending him. There is some things that you just cannot defend anymore. And I can't defend this kid anymore when he has time, he's making throws and throwing 2 pick sixes and then to the same player. And then also on top of that, throws another interception. I'm not going to, yes, to your point, O-line is horrible. Wide receivers not getting open. Yes, he does need some support. But at the same time, when guys are getting open, which we've seen breaking down game film, and he's not making the plays or just throwing the check down, that's an issue. Or he's holding on to the ball too long, that's an issue. That check down that he threw to Chuba Hubbard was just a little touch pass when he should have zipped it because the corner was right there ready. You have to zip that ball. And he literally just did a touch pass to him, and it got intercepted for a pick six. He needs to know, then that's why we're talking about the fundamentals. I don't know, Elizabeth. I don't know. James Campen we might need to have a talk with James Campen. But that's the thing. James Campen is one of the most well-renowned offensive line coaches in the NFL. You know? I believe if we had CJ Stroud, we have the same problem. Well, Black Mamba, we will never know that. I've been on here to say the same thing, but we will never know that. You never loft a ball out the flat. Exactly. Yes, exactly. It was just a dagger to the heart, man. Bryce can't play. His feet in the pocket, from what I've seen so far, definitely affects his drive on the ball. Exactly. He doesn't plant his feet when he throws. It's kind of more like he's kind of still like off his back foot instead of going forward with it, right? To get that zip. Unfortunately, I believe the height matters overall in field vision. Could be. I mean, again, we've all discussed that. We've all discussed that. All right. His throwing picks because of the O-line, D-line is always on his face. Again, that check down was not on the O-line. He just did a touch pass to the flat, and you never throw a touch pass to the flat. I believe a fan. I've been a fan since 2011. And I legitimately can't watch this team anymore. It's negatively affecting my mental health. James. Oh man. All I can do is laugh at this point, guys. I'm pissed off, but like all I can do is laugh, right? Like what? Because like all I can do, like I think that's the only way I'm going to get through this if I just laugh at it, right? You know what I mean? All right, but let's talk about his fundamentals, okay? All right. Because this is one of the most concerning things about him. Okay. All the positive elements that made his growth so encouraging in recent weeks, right? Definitely deserted him against the Colts. His processing, accuracy, composure were all lacking, which was a surprise given his impressive performance in the previous week, like I said. But he was never able to get his feet under him, like we were just talking about, James or JP. And His poor execution, decision-making led to 3 interceptions. I don't care what you say. Again, 2 of which went for scores. Now, the deep connection to Hayden Hurst and the touchdown throw to DJ Chark was maybe one of the only highlights of his performance. But they were completely negated by his mistakes, right? Again, to make matters worse about this whole situation, though, guys, the whole thing is that while he was struggling, it's the fact that CJ Stroud, the man that many thought the Carolina Panthers should have taken, broke an NFL rookie record for passing yards in a single game, threw 5 touchdowns, and this is only fuel to the fire for those who were already rooting for Young's demise, right? So in conclusion, for Young's performance against the Colts, this is a major setback for the Panthers, guys. He must get back to the basics, return to the fundamentally sound presence under center that fans have become accustomed to seeing. Now, otherwise, the Panthers will continue to struggle game after game. Young's future as a starting quarterback will be in jeopardy. The Panthers must address the protection issues, give Young the support he needs to succeed. You still believe in that as well. But he's also has to step up and get better. Because at the end of the day, you can give him all the support you want, but if he can't step up and make the right throws and make the right decisions, what's the point? We got a long ways to go. Right. Right, JP. I hear you, James. I've developed apathy for this team and organization. I love them, but they are a joke. Exactly, Justin. They are a joke. They're a joke. We are the laughing stock of the NFL right now. No matter what way you look at it. Okay? No matter what way you look at it. Okay? So, the thing is too, that here's the thing. This was the worst offensive display of the season. And you can tell this team just lacks motivation, man. You could see it against the Colts. The Colts, in the past 3 or 4 games, were averaging giving up over 38 points in the last 3 games. Something like that. And at halftime, remember, the Panthers had just 3 points and less than 70 yards of offense, which is, that's just unacceptable for a team that's supposed to be a professional football franchise. Again, the Panthers touchdown to DJ Chark did a little bit of improvement maybe for the morale. But again, we only racked up 13 points and only a total of 275 yards of total offense. The post-game clips of Colts owner Jim Irsay dancing in the visitor locker room showed us just how much of a laughingstock this franchise has become. It's high time that the Panthers realize they need to pull themselves together and start performing like a professional team. Again, we now sit in 1-7 in the sole position for the number 1 overall pick. That's not even ours, which is a shameful position for any team to be in. And unfortunately, that pick goes to, that pick goes to Chicago, who we're playing on Thursday night, which is even more disappointing. And then in addition to that, you lost 2 more defensive starters, C.J. Henderson and Brian Burns, who are both on concussion protocol ahead of this Chicago game. These things just look bleak, and it's no surprise, honestly. But everybody's losing their patience. I know I am. Another thing is that Bryce overall finished that day, though, that game. He was 24 of 39, 173 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and a passer rating of a 48.3. And Young did take I will give him the credit where it's due. He did take responsibility in the post game. But there's little that can be done with just 4 days until we have to go to Chicago. This team needs to adjust accordingly in the face of another bad defense. Their defense is bad. Yes, it got Montez Sweat, but again, there's a little hope that they will be able to do so. I mean, the lack of depth on this roster is astounding to me. And this falls squarely on the shoulders of Scott Fitterer, okay? Fitterer has failed to impress with any of his free agency or draft moves, okay? The lack of NFL quality backup options is that evident. The likes of Hayden Hurst, Miles Sanders, Shai Tuttle, DJ Chark, really the list goes on, have all failed to make an impact on the free agency. And this group has been just disastrous outside of Adam Thielen. So when it comes to this draft, the draft, right? Things have not been any better. J.C. Horn, talented, injury prone. Patrick Surtain, Micah Parsons, both balled out in their respective franchises. Question remains over the pick. Offensive line has gone from the Panthers' best performance unit in 2022 to arguably the worst halfway through the 2023 campaign, which is alarming. Which, Ike Ekwonu, is he a bust now? Yep. I agree, Black Mamba. It's time to just clean fucking house. It's time to clean house. Mad Chatter's in here. What's up, Mad Chatter? Oh my God, Justin. just continue to add it on to me, Justin. Just continue to add it on to me. We are the next 2017 Browns. James, I mean, it's looking like it. It's looking like it. Is there a way to check players' depth perception? If so, I'd like to have Bryce's check. That may provide some answers also. I think PFF does it, JP. I could probably, I'm subscribed to PFF, so I could probably pull it up for us. Chicago hit a lick off of us. Yeah, man. Guys, as you're coming in, make sure you pound the like button. I hope you're enjoying the show today. I know that it's not very positive, but I appreciate everyone coming in here and joining, subscribing, liking, commenting. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thanks to you, everyone, for coming in, because this is kind of like therapy to me to get a lot of this off my chest. And I'm not done yet. But anyways, what do you expect Young to do? The O-line is trash. He's been hit more than anyone. Again, Chris Mack. There's been multiple times where I've watched game film and he's throwing balls in the flats with touch passes when it should be a bullet. That's why he threw 2 pick sixes in this game. He holds on to the ball too long. Yes, the offensive line, the wide receivers, yes, that's an issue. But there is also times that we have to stop defending him and look at the game film and prove that Bryce is also a problem too. Again, y'all also have to remember what you gave up for this guy. All those draft picks and DJ Moore. And where has that gotten us? Scott is the weakest link. I think so too. But I think it goes like this. Scott's the weakest link when it comes to free agency and draft. Frank Wright as a head coach is the next weakest link, and David Tepper needs to stay out of football operations. If those 3 things don't happen, which means you fire Scott Fitterer and you fire Frank Wright and David Tepper, whoever you bring in as a GM and a next head coach, if you don't get your ass out of their ear, we're going to continue to still be mediocre, below average. I mean, I know you guys got to be tired of watching this crap. I know y'all guys got to be tired of watching this crap. I know I am. Fitz clueless. Absolutely. Move Icky to guard. I don't even know if that's going to solve the issue, Matt Chatter. He sucks. He might be a bust. I don't know if that's going to solve the issue. Yeah, I mean, that should have been a two-piece combo right there, Elizabeth. I agree. Matt Chatter. Move Icky inside guard. I'm open to it because at this point, what else do I have to lose? Or what else does this team have to lose, right? Are you done with Frank Wright? Justin, normally for me, I am not a big believer in letting head coaches go after the first year, right? But, I mean, if we don't win another game, you got to consider him fired, right? I mean, okay, guys, let me know in the chat. Let me know what you think, okay? If Frank Wright doesn't win another game this season, does he get fired? But how many games would it take for him to win to save his job? That's another question. Y'all let me know in the comments. Oh, I know, Matt Chatter. I know. Yep. The fundamentals there are just not there, Chris. And I think that even JP hit the nail on the head. I think another thing is that the height might be becoming an issue. I think the height might be becoming an issue, guys. I don't think he's seeing over the line well enough to see where these guys are at. I think that's becoming an issue. I really do. That's why I want them to run more bootleg to get him outside of the pocket to see where these guys are. He can't see in the pocket. I'm starting to think that that's an issue. You're going to have to run an offense like what the Browns did when they had Baker Mayfield. There was a lot of bootleg action, and look what Baker Mayfield did. He took him to the playoffs. And then they got away from that because everybody is such a big believer in the NFL and pocket quarterback play. Sure, but you also got to fit the style and scheme to the player that you got. Nah, Ernest, I can't say that's happening. Justin, I think Wilkes would have done a better job because I can guarantee you right now, Deontay Foreman would still be on this team. I guarantee you that we would not have made that trade if Wilkes is on this team because Wilkes would have been saying, hey, no, let's keep Sam Darnold for another year. Let's continue to run the ball. Let's be a smash mouth team, right? Let's run the defense the way we're running it because it's working. You know, it's like, why fix something that wasn't broke at the end of the year last year? The offensive line was doing so well because of how we were running the ball with the running back committee approach. I think Steve Wilkes would have ran this team so much better, and these guys would have been way more motivated to play because there's no motivation and there's no discipline on this team. That's another reason why the penalties have been such an issue. You can't tell me I'm not wrong on that. Why doesn't he run more? He's too small, but he don't throw the ball deep. Okay, then why not just take the quarterback that dropped to us, right? I get it, Bad Chatter. I understand. But why hire a fired head coach when Wilkes had momentum going in one locker room? Why start exactly? Why fix something that wasn't broke and had momentum going into the next season? That's why I wanted Steve Wilkes. I came on my show and made a video that I wanted Steve Wilkes. And look now, granted, San Francisco's struggling right now, whether that's Brock Purdy or the defensive fault. I mean, that's their team. But again, I think all this shininess, I need to fix my background. I got it in high definition. I got that audio fixed. Let's see if I put the blur on. No, the blur's not helping. If I put that, nah. It's all good. I don't know why it's blurry. All right. The worst part is all we give up to get this little guy. Look at all the other quarterbacks, what they're achieving, and tell me who's a bust. Exactly. Exactly. Again, I'm tired. I'm done. Again, guys, I'm done defending him. I've been one of the most optimistic people with you guys, and I'll admit it. You know, I'm eating my crow in this situation, but now what I'm saying now, I'm not stepping off my word. I will be betting against the Carolina Panthers the rest of the season because I might as well, if I'm going to be disappointed every game, I might as well win some money. Nothing will change under Fit and Scout's gone. Yep. Matt Chatter again. I want David Tepper to fire Scott Fitter, reach out to Adam Peters over there in San Francisco, bring his ass over here and let Adam Peters make all the decisions. David Tepper, get the hell out. Ben Johnson, reach over to the Detroit Lions, get him as a head coach, call it a day. Because you're not going to get Steve Wilkes back. Yep. I know. I'm with you, David. I'm with you. I'm all about it. I'm on Tepper's ass. I'm on Frank Wright's ass. I'm on freaking Scott Fitter's ass right now. Yes, he does. But unfortunately, Elizabeth, again, when is he going to show his face? When is he going to show his face? Because we haven't heard from him. We ain't going to hear from him maybe until either the end of the season or until the draft. Should have kept Steve Wilkes as coach. I know, Al. I was about it. I wanted him. Everything starts at the top of the organization. Yep. And it's probably going to have to be, like I said, guys, this is going to have to become, it might end up becoming a fire sale this offseason. It might become a fire sale. If they don't, I don't think there's any other way you're turning this organization around because you don't got the draft picks, but you got the cap and you got the free agency. So, you might as well do what you can. Reich was pissed. You can't coach 3 interceptions. Yep. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things, James. David Gore says 5. I'm not really sure what the 5 was about. Sorry. Do you think we're picking a quarterback in 2025 draft? Who are you going to get? Because the only pick you have is you got a second round pick. Yeah, it's going to be a high second round. It's going to be a nice, basically it'll be the first pick in the second round, but who's going to be available? Because Caleb Williams will be gone. And most likely, I don't know who else would be available. I mean, Caleb and who else? I'm trying to think. What did Scott see to make them think he was a first rounder? He was third round. I don't think it's Scott, Matt Chatter. Again, I think that, James earlier hit the nail on the head. I think the coaching staff and the, Scott Fitterer wanted CJ Stroud. And I think Tepper wanted Bryce Young. I mean, I think that's just it. That's what I think. And David Tepper stuck his nose in it. Where his ass should have been playing golf and hanging out with his hot wife and should have been worried about selling tickets in the market and selling hot dogs and jerseys. If not for 3 garbage picks, we win yesterday. The D was good. Should have won. Should win Thursday. It's hopefully a rookie bad game. I don't know, Matt Chatter. I'm not sold on that comment. They have to get him out of the pocket for him to make it, but he's slow and no arm. I mean, I think he's got an arm. I think he can make some decent passes. I mean, we've seen him make some great passes, but I think you just got to get him out the pocket. I think you got to get him out the pocket for him to make those passes. Say what you want, but players don't play hard for right. I mean, they don't. There's no motivation. There's no discipline. We all wanted Steve Wilkes. The players did too. Yep. It's unfortunate. Did you sneeze on camera? I'm getting a little sick, Matt. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. Getting a little sick. I'm fine giving Bryce to the end of the year. They said the arc of a 5'9" person on throws is not a good thing. Yep. An organization has red flags when fans continuously preach the same problems year after year after year. And I know y'all have got to be tired of me saying the same problems and pointing it out and saying the same thing over and over again, but this is reality. This is where we are. What else am I going to say or talk about, I can say what to do to fix it, right? I can tell you what I think they need to do. Whether they watch me or not, are they going to listen to me? Probably not. Hell no. But I can tell you right now, I could play Madden. I could be the play caller and use Madden, and I can make a better play calling than what they're doing. I can guarantee you that. By the way, I am going to start doing some Madden gameplay if y'all are interested. And I'll put it on the channel. We'll stream it. And maybe we'll do like a Panthers rebuild if y'all are interested in that. All right. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. All right. In 2025, we have our first rounder, though. Yes, we do. And we'll have the highest cap space in the NFL, too. One of the highest. But I went over the cap the other day. I think there's some players we need to release to open up some cap room, because then we'll have like, I did the math the other day. So we're at like 57 something million. But if we release like 4 guys, I think it was Tommy Trimble. No, it was Ian Thomas, Hayden Hurst, Dante Jackson. There was one more, I think. If we release them, we could end up adding on like $17 million extra on cap. So it would be worth it for us to do so. So we could, make some moves and maybe get some decent signings. 2025, we have our first round pick. Yes, we do. Thankfully. Would you take a quarterback with our second round pick if one fell, or are we stuck with Bryce? I don't know, Chris. That is such a tough decision for me to say. Part of me thinks that no, that you don't do that, because you really need to build within the trenches, right? Between the defensive line, the linebackers, the cornerbacks, the wide receivers, the tight ends, all these positions and holes that we have. Safety, we have too many. We don't have a middle linebacker besides Frankie Luvu. We don't have an outside linebacker besides Brian Burns. Corners, who do you have? Besides Xavier Woods, and then, of course, Von Bell's hurt. But, like, besides those two and the safeties, right, Jamie Robinson is atrocious. Sam Franklin, he's had some decent games, but he's just not consistent enough. Besides on the defensive line, who do you have besides Derek Brown? And then when you look at the offensive line, the only person I can really depend on is really Moton and maybe Corbett, right? And then, of course, I would even maybe mention Brady Christensen, because he didn't allow a sack last year. Of course, that he's injured, so that's on him, right? And so again, guys, it's just, where do you start? There's too many holes on this team, right? There's too many holes. You know what I mean? Tepper trying to be Jerry Jones. Yeah, I mean, and then we were just talking about that, Al, just a minute ago, Al. Once Jerry's son came in, Jerry stepped off, and look what's happened for them. It's worked out, right? Still not delivering in the playoffs, but overall with the draft picks and the talent they're getting, it's definitely working out. Yeah, I mean, that's why he left, and I get that. I get that. But when's David Tepper going to come to the podium and say, I messed up, and we're letting Scott Fitter go, we're letting Frank Wright go, we're bringing in this guy, we're bringing in this guy. When is he going to show his face and admit that he was wrong? He won't, because he's a billionaire, and he doesn't give a what. He doesn't give a fuck. I'm down for the Madden Panthers rebuild. Yeah, I'll definitely do it. I've been messing around with it, so I'm going to say the unpopular thing today. Bryce is going to be the quarterback at least until 2026. Cyburn, I mean, you could. I won't be surprised. Honestly, I give him 3 years. So yeah, 2026. So you give him this year, the 2024 to 2025 year, the 2025 to 2026 year, And then after that, I would say if he doesn't do anything, he's gone. But because what else are they going to do? I don't see them drafting a quarterback in 2024, right, in the second round. But again, yeah, Houston's old. Dan said, you cool. Dan's the man. Dan's the man with the plan. Home games or away games now. Yeah, we're starting to see more, more of these other teams take over our stadium because of the lackluster team that we have, because of our ownership. If Tepper fires the head coach and GM, would you prefer in those spots? Who would I prefer in those spots? GM wise, I would look into Adam Peters over there in San Francisco. He's the assistant GM, and I've heard nothing but great things about him. He knows what he's doing. He's got great scouting. He helps with the scouting report. Look what he's done. Look what San Francisco's done. Right? So I would look at him. Right? He's helped out with that organization and making those picks. Obviously Lynch over there is the one who's messed up. But again, overall, San Francisco has done very well. When it comes to the coaching, I would, Steve Wilkes is on that list. I mean, but I doubt they would bring him back because how bad that would look to the organization. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, would be another person. I mean, I would have to look at these coaches that could be head coaches. I mean, if we look at the list of head coaches or a list of guys that could become head coaches, like, I mean, and we're talking about offensive mind head coaches, because that's what I'm looking at. I'm definitely looking at Ben Johnson. I'm not a big Kellen Moore fan. But I think the offense has done pretty well under him, but I don't think he's a head coach kind of guy. I think Eric Bieniemy is still a guy. He's an assistant head coach, offensive coordinator there in Washington. You all know about him in his Cleveland days. I've heard great things about Drew Petzing, even though he's the offensive coordinator over there in Arizona. But they're 10th in offensive DVOA. So, I mean, for how lackluster of a team they've got and they have them at 10th in that, it's pretty good. I've even heard Ken Dorsey, but I'm not a Ken Dorsey fan. Frank Smith, the offensive coordinator of Miami, would be a good one maybe to look into. Maybe Shane Waldron from the Seattle Seahawks, offensive coordinator. I mean, look at Bob Slowick from the Houston Texans at the offensive coordinator position, right? If you want to go defensive-minded coaches, I would probably look at Mike McDonald over there at the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, you could go after Dan Quinn, but I'm not too sure how that's going to go over well, right? I already said Steve Wilkes. Jim Schwartz. I mean, look what he's done with that Cleveland Browns defense. Maybe look into Brian Flores over there in Minnesota, but I'm not too sure about that. I wouldn't be opposed to it. And then I would not be looking at all into college coaches, and definitely would not be looking into college coaches at all. Okay? At all. All right? And I'm not looking at Jim Harbaugh. I can tell you that. Not after everything that's going on over there in Michigan. So y'all might as well go ahead and get that out of your head. But GM-wise, I would definitely look into Adam Peters. Based on what I saw from the highlights, it's definitely the offensive line's fault. They need to be punished for these losses we've suffered or something in order to fix them. Listen, Jarvis, I'm not saying that it's not that the offensive line has not regressed and it's not their part of it. It's not their fault, but there does lie a responsibility is on a lot of shoulders here. The only way to show Tepper to be out is not by buying tickets. Exactly. Don't go to the games. Just don't go to the games. Hell, don't even watch them. So when the ratings go down on the TV, these other owners and Fox and CBS and ESPN and Amazon and the NFL Network is like, why is no one watching the Panthers games? You know, when those ratings go down and shit like that, and no one's going to the games, someone's going to go after Tepper, and it will be other organizations saying, you know, we're in the NFL is like, we're losing money because of you. I thought we should know about being a team owner since he was part of owner of the Steelers and should have learned something about ownership under Art Rooney. I know. Ken Dorsey's the worst. Ken Dorsey is absolutely atrocious. The teams with medley owners suck. Yep. Matt Chatter, you're on point with that. I'm under the impression that it doesn't matter about the coaches. It's our roster that's the problem, in my opinion. Your quarterback needs to be run threat, modern NFL. Countdown until fire. Yep. I mean, listen up, guys. All right, real quick. Just listen up. All right, so just listen up real quick. All of you Panther fans that are in here, because I've been thinking about this as I've been reading through the comments, all right? And I think I put something together here, and it's a little bit of a rant. And I kind of said this over on the Black Cat Panther podcast this morning because Pop over there summoned me. I have some harsh truths to share with you guys, okay? Because this loss, it wasn't about the fact that we lost the game. It's about how we lost the game. And again, it was a disaster. And there's no sugarcoating it because Bryce showed promise in previous games, but he completely failed in this one. Completely. Again, he threw not one, but two, but three interceptions, and then two of them were pick sixes. Okay? And that's not just bad. That is pathetic, in my opinion. But again, let's not put all the blame on Young. The whole team is a mess, right? The offensive line was a joke. They couldn't protect Bryce to save their life. The scheme was a disaster too. Why did they abandon the run game that worked so well last season? But again, Chuba Hubbard can't do this all by himself because Miles Sanders has been the worst signing we might have had so far this offseason. And Blackshear stepped it up. So, you know, I'm okay with Blackshear. But it's like the coaching staff forgot everything they knew about football. And don't even get me started on the penalties because, again, the amount of bad penalties in this game was absolutely ridiculous. It was like the Panthers were trying to just sabotage themselves. You can't win a game when you're constantly shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, if these penalties continue, because our heads are going to be rolling and someone's going to lose their job, right? And they deserve it. And we all know who the two culprits are. So let's be real here, okay, everyone? Let's just be 100% real. This team is 1-7 now. They're playing like it. There's no hope for the season, especially if they keep playing like this, which I'm going to presume they are. The margin for error in the NFL is tiny. And the Panthers are making too many mistakes, and it's time for y'all to wake up. It's time to get angry. It's time to demand for a better team. And it's time to not go to games. It's time to not watch the games, even though I probably still watch the games. And I'm not telling y'all not, you know, y'all do whatever you want at the end of the day. But, you know, I'm going to bet against the Panthers every game, and I will not be picking them the rest of the season. I will be betting them against them the rest of the season because I might as well. I might as well win some money. You know, I might as well win some money if I'm going to sit here and be disappointed every week. to at least counteract the disappointment. Other than Bright Tepper, I'd fire the ones who's the offensive line coach. Also, where did the passion from last week's win go? I mean, Jarvis, it went out the window, and you watch this lackluster of a performance. I can't continue to be optimistic about this team that week by week and be unrealistic anymore. I have to keep my expectations low, and I have to be realistic with you guys and keep it 100 from now on. Because I have been optimistic to a fault, and I admitted that, and I'm eating my crow, and I look like a clown coming on here. But I will say this. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's in here, because we have reached almost 3,500 subscribers to this channel because of you guys liking, subscribing, getting in the comment section. We have literally reached 3,494 subscribers because of you guys. Continue showing your support and coming in here and just liking and commenting. That's it. And I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me that y'all continue to show me support. And we're not done. We're not done. I'm still going to be here watching this team, whether it's a disappointment or whether we're winning games, right? It does not matter to me. I'm ride or die Carolina Panthers, but I'm just going to keep it 100 with you guys every single week now. I'm not backing off my word anymore. Even if they win a game, I'm still going to pick against them until they go on like a 3-game winning streak or 4-game winning streak to prove to me that they can be consistent enough to do so. Yeah, but again, Matt Chatter, if the ratings aren't up, NFL loses money when it comes to TV and commercials. So shout out to you guys for getting me up to, we're at 3,494 subscribers. So shout out to you guys getting me there. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It really does. So thank you guys. We'll definitely do a giveaway here soon. So again, guys, it's time to get angry, and it's time to demand better for this team, for us as fans, everything. All right. So guys, make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Make sure you can become a member if you'd like. Elizabeth became a new member today, so shout out to Elizabeth. Thank you so much for becoming a member today. If you want to become a member today, that's great. It's just an extra way to show your support to the channel. And I really appreciate that. I really do. It definitely helps out the channel a lot. That goes a long way. Also, guys, make sure you feel free to join the Discord. That's a good way to connect with me. The Discord's a good way to communicate with the community here of the Rockstar Gang. So feel free to join that Discord over there. The link tree's down below. Make sure you follow me on all my social media up above here. And also, don't forget to check out betusa.com. The link is down in the description. Promo code Pantherology. It's still Pantherology. I haven't got it changed yet. But sign up for free today. You get 125% bonus on your first bet. So go check it out, okay? So, guys, that's a lot of ranting. There's a lot of raving. But that's just the reality of it, right? And this is where we are. We're just in dark times as Panther fans. So, again, appreciate everyone joining the live stream. And again, as always, y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. Peace.